Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning. It's Sunday and I'm coming in hot this morning. I'm coming in hot, people. And I don't often come in hot, but I'm going to talk about this because I feel like it's super important. Super important. I belong to many spiritual type groups, okay? Many spiritual groups on Facebook. So empath groups, light worker groups, psychic reading groups, mediumship groups, whatever. So in those groups, good morning, Sarah. In those groups, you can do, some people ask for readings, some people post their photos and ask for advice, or people just share things that are inspirational, which is totally fine. So what I do see, and sometimes these are super helpful. You can go and you can practice your gifts in these groups and it's really, really helpful. And you can connect with other people who are also working on this. And that's awesome. You can make great connections. You can do volunteer and do free readings for people in the group. Some of the groups you have to be an approved reader, some you don't. But what I find interesting, good morning, Tanya, good morning, Linda. What I find interesting is there are certain posts that come up. There are a lot of times, and some are really helpful, some are really encouraging, some are great places to learn. And then there are others. And I saw this morning. Okay, I saw this morning a post in an empath group. Okay, this group is called Empaths, Energy Reading and Photo Readings. Okay. So right off the bat, good morning, Terry, good morning, Linda and Tanya. So right off the bat that there's going to be readings and people post photos to get readings. You know this just from the name of the group. So somebody this morning posted a photograph of herself and a man, two separate photos side by side. I'm guessing this might be somebody that she's hoping to be in a relationship with, or she's in a relationship with, not sure. Anyways, so she posted the picture and she, at the top of the post, she made the simple comment. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up so I have this in front of me. Let me go there, hold on. She put, hey, Christine, hey, Deanne, hey, Elizabeth. So she put at the top, he has given permission to post this photo. Does anyone see anything between us? Okay, that was all she said. And then a picture of herself and a picture of him beside her, okay? Well, 183 comments later, I was like, oh, I'm gonna, take a look at this. And sometimes I'll go into these groups and I'll respond to these photos, respond to these requests. And then I started to read the comments. And there are things that say, some of them just say no. Some of them just say no. Some of them say, run, don't get your heart broken. Hidden agenda. He's a player. Let's see. Seems like he puts on a good act. Enjoy the ride. Have you even met him in person? Someone's gonna say someone said catfish, whatever the hell that means. I'm sure that means someone's getting screwed over. Let's see. You're in a world for hurt. Something doesn't seem perfect. You're being catfished again. Why is he so mad? Walk away. Absolutely not. And then some of the people went to her energy and said, you're being desperate. You're being clingy. You have no confidence. Somebody actually said, wait a minute. Somebody actually said, it's chilling. You guys, you look chilling. I can't even, oh my God. I don't even know what to say. Bad vibes, fake, bad vibes from her, not him. Her is the original poster. I can't. And someone else said she has mean energy. She's mean in relationships. And she basically got pretty slammed with negativity. And I'm like, wow. So I just I made a comment. I just asked a question. How many of you are actually reading the energy of the two people, or are you just making a judgment, a snap judgment based on what you perceive their looks? You looked at their face and you're just making a judgment from your own shit based on their looks. because you don't know either of them. You don't know either of them. Whether you're doing a reading and you can pick up on energy, you don't know the ins and outs of them. So how many of you are doing that? And some people got pretty pissed at me, like pretty upset with me, and I don't really give a shit because this is an empath group. I remind this is an empath group. The gift of an empath is compassion, is empathy. So, and there's a such thing as ethics when you're doing readings. There's something that's called ethics. One person said, well, she posted the question, you post it, you put yourself at risk to get these answers. And I'm like, no, that's not how readings work. And one person said, it's not going to always be unicorns and rainbows. Sometimes the answer is not good. And I'm like, yes and no. Like, that's a very fine line. So anyways, so some got super triggered with me asking. I'm not lecturing or judging them. I'm asking you to go deeper. And I said, how many of you can say more about what you feel than just, no, he's a player. No, you're mean. Like, absolutely not. He's using you. Like, where are you getting that? How are you picking that up? Say more about that. If you're a reader and you're truly doing an energy reading or you're truly doing a psychic intuitive reading, whatever, you need to, there's usually more to it than just yes or no. Spirit is usually not that black and white. And a lot of times Spirit will talk about the energy around the people, the energy around the situation. And certainly Spirit doesn't want you to do readings as an excuse to be harsh to people. Fucking A. I mean, like, whether or not, yes, you go on Facebook, you post something, you run the risk. Okay, but if you're in a group called Empath, then you ought to know that, this is not a place for like super harsh, judgmental shit. If you want to go into a group called Rant, or if you want to put it on your Facebook wall, I guess you're opening yourself up. But in my opinion, there's an issue if empaths and intuitives and people calling themselves healers are using that title, using that, using their gifts or using whatever they claim they have for gifts as an excuse to roast people. Like, that is just shitty in my opinion. It's just, and I am judging that, I guess, because I feel like this is an important job. This is one of the most like important things, or one of the most sensitive things you can do. You are messing with somebody's confidence, self-esteem, emotional health. You don't know what the background is to this. You don't know what that woman's been through. I mean, to say that she's a mean-hearted person, some of them said she was mean, bad vibes, like a desperate, clingy bitch in a relationship. And I'm like, wow, you really picked all that up from looking at a photo. Say more about that then. No, she put the question out there, so she runs the risk. Or, I'm just telling the truth. It's not always sunshine and unicorns. That's a shitty reader. That is you're being a dick. You are being an absolute dick. And you're using spirituality, you're using this profession, you're using this job or the gifts that you say you have to be a fucking dick to other people. And in my opinion, that's not okay at all. When you are doing readings, your job is to deliver the energetic information around it. You do not give warnings. You do not say things that are really bad or negative. It's not spiritual bypassing, because there is a way to deliver information or things that people need to be cautious about or things that people need to think about in a way that doesn't come at them with like this, I gotta tell like this harsh truth. I've gotta be out like, no. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. You deliver the message in the same way that Spirit would. Spirit doesn't speak with harshness, hate, judgment, whatever, cutting people down, putting fear into them. It just doesn't. That's your higher self doesn't understand that. That is a human thing. So you are tapping into your own human ego. If you're going to read someone like that, you're reading from ego. You're reading from your own triggers. You're looking at their picture. You're getting triggered by something, either with the person's picture or with the relationship, and you're speaking from your own experience. That's it. There's no other fucking excuse. That's exactly what you're doing. Energy healing is the same way. Someone said, said to me, energy healing is a yes or no question. I'm like, no, it's not. The pendulum can be yes or no, but energy healing, energy reading, it is not yes or no. There are all kinds of things and nuances and things to it. And if you're going to make a statement like that, you need to have more to back that shit up, because that's just not how this works. And if you plan on building a business doing this, or if you are going into these groups and doing readings for people, you have a great responsibility. You have a great responsibility. Like I said, you are taking someone's emotional health into your hands, and you are delivering information that could have a huge effect on them. End of story. Okay, it's like being a therapist or a coach, someone who's really talking about sensitive subjects that are coming from the heart, life changes, really things that they're struggling with. And to deliver a message in a harsh way is just unethical. It's unethical. And then to not really expand on it more is also unethical. If you're going to do that, you're reading from ego, because there's no way that spirit would lead you to deliver a message that's sounding like a prick or a dick or whatever. There's no way. It just doesn't happen. If I'm telling somebody something about a relationship that maybe it's going in a tougher direction, I will advise the person that I'm reading that maybe, number one, they need to nurture themselves more. They need to look more inward and focus on their own personal growth, or expand their own consciousness, right? Or raise their vibe. And then just say, you might want to have some really open conversations and see what vibe you get, because they're the ones that know the truth about their relationship. I can't predict for you whether or not your relationship is absolutely going to work out or not. I can't say definitely someone's doing this or not. I can only tell the energy around them, what's been around them, and what's coming at them. They can choose to do anything with that. I can't say for sure, right? I can only give the energy and give maybe some guidance that really expands awareness, okay? And maybe guides people to start working when they need to focus in a different direction, to let the situation go for now and take the energy off it. Because sometimes when we're so focused on a relationship and what's going to happen, what's going on, it puts this manic energy on it and everything blows up. So I might guide them to do something for themselves and raise their vibe, and then go back and see what shifts. That to me is what you're doing when you're doing a reading. Not saying, nope, he's a player. Nope, run. No, because that person's going to do what they want to do. Or you could be influencing someone to make a decision about somebody that might not even be true. You could influence the direction of a relationship that may or may not be for their highest good. You could hurt somebody's self-esteem and crush their spirit. What the hell? And that is absolutely never okay. And that is not coming from the light. That is not coming from the light. Absolutely not. I'm sweating right now because I'm coming in hot. It's rare that I do big rants like this, but this pisses me off when it comes to integrity, when it comes to our profession, which usually has so much skepticism around it anyway. And like I said, you're affecting people's lives and their spirits, and you are giving information that could have a huge effect on them. You have a huge responsibility. This isn't something to take lightly. This is why I am doing my program next month, Psychic as Fuck Bootcamp, for 10 weeks. For 10 weeks, and doing practice, because that's how you grow your confidence. I'm also dedicating one module to ethics for this reason. So when I'm training people or I'm guiding people on their psychic journey to grow their abilities, they know I make it clear, and I want to make sure that it's out there that there are ethics involved if you're going to start doing readings, whether it's for yourself or other people, especially if it's for other people. These are the ethics involved. This is the spirit with which you need to come to the table. You need to have that pure intention and pure heart when you're coming to a reading. You're not giving someone a taste of medicine. You're not giving them brutal truth to change them. No, you're not. You are not. That is not from the light. The light doesn't do that. Your higher self is not judgmental. Your higher self is not bitchy. Your higher self is not cranky. Your higher self doesn't say things that are harsh. They're not cold. And if you're in a group that says empath, you ought to know this right from the title of the group. What are you doing that in there? At the very least, if you don't know the energy around somebody, if you're having trouble connecting, say so. It's okay to be honest and be an empath and say, I feel you. I feel that you really I feel that you're wanting this relationship to work, or I feel like you're really searching for that soulmate, and I'm feeling you on this. Does this sound accurate? And keep going. Get more out of that person. If you're not connecting, ask some questions. Tell them what you're feeling, or tell them you're having some trouble connecting. I'm not feeling a strong connection. Is there something that you've been really struggling with? Or do you feel like your thoughts are really in a negative place? Or do you feel like your energy is closed off? Do you feel like you need to do some clearing rituals? Tell them. It's okay. It's okay. It's not always, but you just... Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm sweating over this. You just have to be so careful and so cautious about what you're doing. You are really, this is a great responsibility. I said it again. I sound like I'm, I sound like I'm doing a political speech. This is a great responsibility, but it is. So this is why I teach this in my program, because it is important. And and I think that anyone who comes to really nurture their gifts knows this intuitively, understands the ethics, but I make sure I want to put it out there, because just so people know this, because there are also, as you can tell from that post that I went to, there are people who are doing all sorts of shit, and people who can take the spirituality profession and that niche and take it to another place and use it as a vehicle to get out their own frustrations, to do their own, to like dump out their own shadow work that hasn't been done. And that's dangerous shit. You are playing a dangerous game if you're doing that. So, you're not going to grow in your gifts. You're not going to expand your consciousness, and you're going to find yourself stuck and pissed off and probably not creating the life that you want. I'm just saying. So for that woman who posted that, I'm sending her love and good vibes, because if I had to read all those comments, I'll tell you what, that would hurt me tremendously. Even though, okay, we post something, we run the risk, we detach from the outcome, I'm sorry, it still stings. We're still humans. And if I had to read 200 comments of people that didn't even know me, shitting on me or shitting on my boyfriend or whatever, that's rough. That's rough. What a great way to start the morning. So readings need to stay high vibe. We're not always high vibe in life. Right? We're high and low. That's how it works. But when you're doing readings, you best be in the zone, and you best come to the table with high vibes, right? Even if you've had a shitty day, you do the clearing and the centering and the grounding rituals. Again, these are things that I teach in my program, Psychic as Fuck Bootcamp, for a reason, because you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. You want to make sure you're coming to the table when you're doing a reading with a pure heart, with a pure intention, and you're seeing things non-judgmentally and clearly. You're supposed to be objective, not subjective, right? So yeah, if that's not happening, and it scares me more that when empaths get defensive about it and they don't even see it, they're like, well, too bad. I'm like, whoa, you're in a fucking empath group. What are you doing? And you are doing readings for people. So it's out there, just telling you, it's out there. And if you don't feel good about a reading that someone gave you, or if they're sending you energy like this, you don't have to absorb it, and you tell them, this doesn't feel okay. Ask for your fucking money back, or, whatever. Or, and look for somebody when you're doing a reading that you really feel comfortable and safe with. There's nothing, I don't know. There's nothing that's like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. You shouldn't have to have a thick skin. You have to have a thick skin when you're a reader, right? Sometimes, but if you're getting a reading, you shouldn't have to have a thick skin against the reader, against the one who's reading to you. Like, that just shouldn't happen. And so I don't know. That's all I have to say today. This is so important to me, especially right now. Like I said, if you deal with this, if you are, if you have seen this, stand up for your readers, your customers, your clients, or stand up for those people. I will call it out. And I'm not being like harsh and judgmental with my calling out and just doing what I said not to do, right? I'm just suggesting, can you go deeper with these readings? Can you say more about that? Are you speaking from your intuitive sense or your ego? Because I know that higher self doesn't usually respond in that way. There's always a way to deliver information or feedback without being a dick. And this seems to be a nasty habit, especially in America right now, the culture up in here. It's like, I need to deliver you the most harsh information, and I have to I'm like, come on. Like, honestly, there are ways to deliver information. Like, you're going to change anybody from being a dick. You're not going to change anybody. You're only going to hurt them, or you're going to repel them from you, and they're not going to listen anyway and do what they want. Like, just nothing good comes from that. And if we're trying to move towards a 5D world, like a 4 or 5D consciousness, where we're really operating not so much from here, ego, but from here, heart and intuition, if we're truly moving in that direction, then there's no place for that shit. There's no place for that. It just doesn't happen. Your loved ones on the other side, they're not judging you. They're not up there being harsh to you. Doesn't matter if you had a fight with them on the day of their death. They are now in spirit, and that's not how it works. It's not how it works. So people who are worried about that, with their loved ones, that could be a whole other video, worried that their loved ones are judging them or have, a grudge. They do not. That's not how it works in the spiritual world. That's just not how it works. Your higher self doesn't feel that way. It's love and joy. And some people might say, oh yeah, that's like, it is really sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns in the spiritual world. It really is. And everyone's okay with that. They don't need to have like the shit. Whatever, but we're working on that down here. It's not going to happen overnight. Probably won't happen for another 100 years or so, who knows? But in the meantime, why not just work on that a little bit? Why not work on that? If you're delivering messages to somebody, think about what you're saying. Think about how you're saying it. And by the way, this could probably be great wisdom for just interacting in everyday life. Interacting in everyday life doesn't mean you don't ever feel like shit. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be honest and truthful. When I have felt like shit, I am honest and truthful. And I am pretty clear. I speak my truth, but I do it in a way that is honoring my higher self. I'm honoring my higher self, and I'm honoring the higher self in other people, right? Even if someone really pisses me off and really hurt me, believe me, I'll come right out and say it. I'm not like, oh, thanks. I will come right out and say, hey, that isn't okay. But that's not harsh. I'm not like, you're a freaking prick. You're always, you're an evil spirit. Always like that. That's just talk. Get to the point. That's not okay. Put up the boundary. That doesn't feel good to me. I don't want to be around someone who's treating me like that. There's ways to do things. And all I'm saying, so I'm going off on a tangent, but those of you who want to learn how to grow your gifts and want to do it in a safe space, want to do it with a non-judgmental person who's helping guide you and can, really help you to feel really comfortable about the messages you're delivering, whether you're getting good feelings or you're getting not so good feelings, then join me for Psychic as Fuck Bootcamp. I am in the process of activating as many light workers as I can. Light workers, empaths, okay? And again, doesn't mean you're always going to be skipping through the roses every day. We're going to feel all the feels of being human. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not bypassing our feelings. But when you're doing readings, how can you show up for a reading as your best self? How can you be there fully present and connected for your client or your customer? How do you make decisions in your life with confidence and clarity, knowing that you're making them from your heart, from your intuition? You can listen to your own guidance and trust it and know that it's spirit talking to you, not ego. That's exactly what we're going to do in this boot camp. That's why I'm taking 2 months, over 2 months, 2.5 months to do this. It's not an overnight thing. It's not an easy thing to just learn and do. It's practice and really going over your energy. How do you manage and protect? How do you clear it when you need to? How do you connect with spirit and know that you're connected? And how do you deliver messages? How do you do readings for other people and deliver messages that are ethical with heart and with clarity and be very clear? Right? How do you do all that? And how do you get, if you want to, how do you get a customer? How do you start doing this as a purpose-driven business? All of this I'm going to cover in Psychic as Fuck Bootcamp. So if you're interested in this, we begin February 2nd, so in a few weeks, and now is the time to save your spot. There are pay in full options, there are payment plan options, and the link is in the comments to look at all of that. You scroll down, you can see all of it. If you're in my group, The Awakened Empath, you can see week by week what I'm going to be talking about if you go into the announcement section. So I'm covering all of this for you, okay? Because I think the ethics in psychic mediumship, intuitive, pendulum, energy healing and readings are so, so, so important. We're not here to use the word light worker as an excuse to be abusive to other people or be deceitful to other people or unload our own unprocessed shit onto them. Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely not. So I'm here and committed to helping people do this and grow their gifts in a way that's truly bringing that light, bringing your light to the world. So want to know more about Psychic as Fuck Bootcamp? I am your general, forming a light worker army, and I'm enlisting and recruiting as many of you as possible. So talk with me. I have 11 spots left for Psychic as Fuck Bootcamp. Comment below, message me, go in the Awakened Empath group so you can see the details, or you can just click in the comments below and just enroll now. Whatever you want to do. If you're like, yep, I'm doing this. If you feel the call, do so. If you feel the call, do so. But be sure you're processing your own stuff along the way. Be sure you're processing your own stuff. Be sure you're willing to be so self-aware that when you're doing readings for other people, you're not bringing your own shit to the table, because that could do damage to somebody. Okay? And that's not what we're here for, right? We're not this elite secret group of people that's saying our gifts are unique and we're better than you. No, everybody has the gift. So that's number one. Number two, we're not here to unload our own unprocessed baggage onto other people and call that a reading. We're not doing that. So, absolutely not. So that's what I'm doing, forming this light worker army, because it's time. It's really time. As you